Okay. I don't think I took any video yesterday. It was probably the most difficult weather I've had to deal with. Either that or my climb up Rocky Top in the Smokies. It was a very cold day, a very windy day, and the snow was blowing horizontal and accumulating. And I had to go over Max Patch, which is a famous place on the AT, a big, broad, grassy bald. But I went across it probably at a time when some would say it was a little foolish. Probably had 40-mile-an-hour winds. But I was fresh and strong and needed to move on. But the whole day was gray and windy, and snow was accumulating. When I climbed Bluff Mountain, the last quarter mile or so, the snow had drifted up to my knees, and I had to trudge through that to get to the top. So I thought I'd show you the aftermath, or the beauty of what such weather leaves behind. So this was just such a beautiful day, and it's just a great hike. Probably 30 degrees. I don't even have gloves on my hands. It's just beautiful. A very light breeze. Obviously the sun's shining. Trying to show you this hilltop over here. It's hard to tell, but it's so beautiful. Frosted bald up there. Anyway, we'll try to find some other views as we go through the day. Hopefully this comes through pretty well through the trees. What a beautiful sight here. All these hills and mountains, snow covered. This is what you get to look at all day long while you're hiking on these good days. So it's we've got a little kind of a Beauty and a Beast theme here. Yesterday was such a beast, and today we've got this incredible, beautiful day, great hiking weather, and great scenery. So anyway, didn't want to pass this by without giving you a quick look at this. Well, it seems like I haven't filmed in a little while, so this will try to be a little bit of an update more than it is any great scenery. You can see that morning fog is here. Just started hiking about an hour ago. We had horrendous rain last night, even some lightning and thunder, and I was incredibly thankful to have made it to a hostel last night and had a roof over my head. So yesterday I hiked out of Hot Springs, a great little town in North Carolina. Before Hot Springs, we had essentially our second blizzard this winter, and had some really, really challenging hiking up Bluff Mountain. Drifts of snow that were up to my knees. Windy, cold, very, very tough. Eventually got into Hot Springs, and the next day was beautiful. And spent 2 days in Hot Springs, taking a little rest. Got to go to the natural hot springs and have a pool, as they say, which is fun. Had a couple of decent meals. And then yesterday hiked out of town on a kind of a crummy, rainy, sleety, cold day. Put put in some good miles, partly because I knew at the end of the day I would have a roof over my head and didn't have to work too hard to set up camp or cook dinner. So anyway, this morning is a climb, like so many mornings when you're in a gap. And while it's very misty, humid, the temperature's a little milder. I'm hiking in just one layer, just a shirt, and climbing up the hills generates a lot of heat, but milder than it has been. We've had just so much bitter cold. It's been tough. But while today's not pretty, hopefully sun will, as it rises, will burn off this and we'll have a clear day, or at least I don't think it's supposed to be clear, but hopefully we'll burn off some of this cloud cover and mist. So anyway, this gives you a sense of not every day is spectacular view of the mountains. And this is what the trail often looks like. So I'll be back. So with all the rain last night, the snow a couple days before, this is not a stream. This is our trail today. So just one more thing to show you. And you can see it goes down, 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 down. And quite a lot of water collecting over here. So let me put this down and try to figure out a way to navigate this. All right, so we saw the river that replaced our trail earlier today, and now we're on a snowy, icy, rocky patch, and I'll show you a little bit of this just to have to kind of go slow, and it's a little risky, but just to give you a little bit of idea of the trail here and some of the obstacles. So I'll give you a little sense of the adventure we have here. And you can see up ahead more. And just show you the different terrain and conditions that are out here. And that's where I came from. Eventually brings you up on this ridge, and it's a nice spot, and you can see the fog, the clouds are being blown over the ridge here. Normally you're supposed to have great views. Here's our views. And here's where the trail goes, a little higher up on the ridge. But we didn't get to take advantage of this spot here, but it's all part of the trip, and you get some views and you don't get others. So the sun sure is trying to break out, but hasn't done so yet. Well, this morning was a very difficult climb, and fortunately the sun's out, and we got this is our reward for a pretty tough hike this morning. Most of the rest of the day it'll be little ups and downs and mostly downhill. So heading to Erwin, Tennessee. Should be there in a couple days, and I'm told the weather is going to be looking up. So we're going to head up this way, and maybe we'll have some more views. Okay, let's see. I think this is my 31st or 32nd day since leaving Springer Mountain. I'm just outside of Erwin, Tennessee, and left Hot Springs a couple days ago, and today we're climbing Big Bald It's supposed to be quite a good peak around here. But unfortunately, as you can see behind me, mostly have an overcast day. It's supposed to be 0% chance of humidity, 0% chance of rain, which will be good. It was cold this morning. I've been hiking for a couple hours, and the wind had subsided, and that was probably causing most of the coolness. It was fine for hiking though. Did have to put on some gloves and a buff a little while, but now I'm to bare hands. I do have 2 layers of clothing on, although I'm starting the main part of the climb up to Big Bald, so I'm sure that's going to generate a lot of heat. And without a wind or colder weather, I'll probably be down to a single base layer, just 1 shirt on. So that's what's going on. Trail is nothing unusual today. No particular views yet, but we still are making progress heading north. So don't have a whole lot more to report on. Most of body and soul is staying together. I've had a little soreness in my left hip, but that seems to be working its way out with a little rest, and a little bit of soreness in my lower back yesterday and today. Had 3 pretty big days in a row. Yesterday was a lot of climbing, so we'll see how it goes. Anyway, just thought I'd check in, and hopefully we'll have some views at the top of Big Bald and we can share those. Well, just about to the top of Big Bald, one of the highlights here in this area of Tennessee. And seems like every time I get up to one of these balds, and not every time, but we haven't gotten the best opportunity to get a view. So you can see up ahead, it's still clouded in. There's a real effort being made by the sun to get through. Maybe we'll get lucky. Maybe we won't. Probably got 10-15 minutes for something to happen. But I thought I'd show you this scene. As I was coming up to the bald, it's going to get much more windy and noisy. But these balds are really pretty and interesting. It's just unfortunate we can't get on top of them on a beautiful sunny day. So I don't think it's going to break, but there is some effort being made up there, and appreciate whatever the sun can do. So we're going to keep climbing, and if we get some views, I'll be back. I've never cleared on top of Big Bald, but here I am on Little Bald, which is not a bald, it's treed in, but we do have a little viewing area, and the sun has come out a little bit and lifted the ceiling, so we do have this view. So I guess we'll be thankful that we got at least this today. And we got about 4 or 5 miles left to the hike today.